Howdy, howdy, folks. Once again, this is Donnie, and I'm coming at you with yet another in our storage management tutorial series. So in our previous video, we looked at how to create logical volumes. We looked at how to create just a regular, normal, linear logical volume that you would use the same as you would use a normal partition. The only thing is, of course, by being a logical volume, you have certain advantages, like you can expand it. You can add more drives to it if you run out of space and expand the file system. And this video, we're going to cover that. So here you see on our Debian machine that we have been using, I've done an fdisk-L on that SDD drive that I have in here, and also a gdisk-L, and it shows you there I've not done anything with that drive as yet. So let's go ahead here and do a real quickie creation of a partition. And we'll just go ahead and use gdisk because, well, we want to, let's just say we want to be in the modern world in the 21st century and use a GPT partition instead of the old MBR. So it's going to be gdisk dev sdd, and hit the P there. We see no partition table yet. Hit the N, and partition number 1, we'll just use the entire thing again. And again, we can hit the L and hit the enter key to see more codes, and we want to toggle this to type 8E00, 8 echo 00. And there's our partition table. And we'll hit W for write. Yes, I want to proceed. There we go. All right, so we have created our partition and toggled it to type 8E00, which is the LVM type. So now the first thing we need to do is add this new drive that we've just added. And by the way, I forgot to mention, we're simulating here that we have run out of space on the logical volume that we created in the previous video, and we've simulated that I've shut down the machine and stuck in that new drive. So that's the SDD drive. So now that I've created the partition and toggled it to the proper type, I am going to add this to the volume group. And we're going to do that with sudo vgextend. And then I'm going to specify the name of the volume group, which is Donnie Stuff. And it's kind of curious with some of these commands when you have to specify a volume group. You don't have to do the dev / and volume group name. You just specify the volume group. I've never understood why it's been set up like that, but it is, so that's what we'll do. And then we specify the drive, or rather the partition that we want to add to that volume group. And actually, you know what? I completely forgot. We got to do PV create here. There we go. Now we can do the VG extend. And the Donnie Stuff volume group. And dev SDD1. Okay, so now our Donnie Stuff volume group has been successfully extended. We can do VG display, and we'll look at the statistics on that now. And we see now that we have a volume group size of 61.61 gigabytes, and we see that 45.66 gigabytes of that has been used already, and we have 21.95 gigabytes of free space. Okay, so this 29.95 gigabytes of free space is that SDD1 partition that I just added. So that's all good. So we're still not done though. Next thing we need to do is to add that to a logical volume, and then we will extend the file system. Now, I want you to notice though, very, very important. Notice here that our logical volume is still mounted. Now this is really, really, really cool because you don't have to kick off your users to do this. Well, you do if you need to install a new drive, probably, because you need to shut down the machine for that, unless you got a machine with hot swappable drive bays. But other than that, you do this with this file system online, right? Once you boot the machine up, you don't have to take this offline. You don't have to unmount this logical volume in order to add in the new drive to it. It's really, really cool, right? So, anyway, with that said, let's go ahead here, and I need to look at this again here. I keep forgetting stuff here. Okay, 61.61 is the volume group size. Okay, so next thing I need to do then is do the LV extend. And a dash L again. Again, the dash L designates the size, just as it did for the LV create. And again, I have no idea why they chose an uppercase L to designate size, but they did. Now, there are two ways to do this. You can do like this. Let's say we want that to be the final size of our logical volume. Then you can just do like that. Or you can do like this. And we'll say that this is the amount of space that we want to add to that logical volume. So you've got two ways to do it, right? But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and do it like this. This is the way I usually like to do it. And so basically, we're just going to make that take up the full amount of space that we have available in the volume group. And needless to say, if you do it like this, whatever size you designate there has to be at least as large as the size of the existing logical volume. Okay, you can't make it smaller than the existing logical volume. But anyway, let's go ahead here and do that. And we are going to say dev Donnie stuff Donnie LV. Okay, so in this case here, you have to specify the entire path to the logical volume. So we saw in the previous video that we have a Donnie stuff subdirectory for the volume group, and then we have within that subdirectory the Donnie LV symbolic link, which points back to the device file for the logical volume. So anyway, let's go ahead here and do this, and we rounded it up here a little bit, and that's good. We do see that the logical volume has been successfully resized, so that's a good thing. So let's go ahead here and we'll take a look at this LV display. All right, so we have our logical volume now is 67.61 gigabytes, which is what we want to see. But we're still not through, because now we need to resize the file system. We don't have to go through and reformat everything. All we have to do is just resize the file system that's there. And so we can do that with resize to fs dev Donnie group, or Donnie, whatever I said, Donnie stuff, yeah. Okay, and hey, that's it. We're done. We did an online resizing, and it's cool. And we can do the mount, and we can see, yeah, it was all mounted. We never unmounted it at all. And I'm betting that if we do a df-h on that, yeah, looky there. We got it. 67 gig is the size. That's just what we want to see. So yeah, it's really, really cool, right? Now, one final thing to note about this is that when you resize the file system, that resize to fs command only works for ext2, ext3, and ext4 file systems. If you're working with a machine that has XFS file systems and you've formatted your logical volumes with XFS, use the XFS grow fs command instead of the resize to fs. The command works exactly the same way as the resize to fs does. It's just that it's for XFS file systems instead of the ext file systems. And that's all there's to it. That's all I got. So hopefully you have enjoyed this. If you have, please hit the like and subscribe. And we will see you next time.